All right. Hey, everybody. I'm Emily. I'm an alcoholic. I am from Monroe, Louisiana. And yeah, Charlie reached out to me today. Well, me and my husband. And so I got voluntold by my husband, who's also in recovery, to come do this. And it's an honor and it's a privilege. My sobriety date is November 22nd of 2013. And it's only by the grace of God that I'm still sober today. And my home group is the Back to Basics group in Monroe, Louisiana. We meet Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 o'clock at the All Saints Anglican Church. So if you're ever in our tiny little town on the I-20 corridor in West Louisiana, Northeast Louisiana, yeah, stop by. We are also hosting Lascypaa in March, and it's going to be really fun. We've been postponing this, trying to get it done for like 2.5 years now because of COVID. So yeah, I got sober in 2013, and it really, to me, it wasn't really an option. So I started drinking when I was like 20, and the first time I drank heavily, I knew that was my thing. Like, this stuff makes me feel amazing. This stuff like makes me not be so uptight and self-conscious. I can talk to other people. I can be myself. And so it turned into my coping mechanism. And when I got sober in 2013, it was really just this idea that was presented to me that I didn't even know was possible. See, I was going to either keep doing what I was doing and die from it, or I was going to kill myself and end it a lot sooner. Like, those were my two options. That was all my alcoholic brain could come up with. I was like at the worst bottom, lost my job, lost my place to live. Like, I mean, it was just, I lost everything. And this third option was presented to me was, hey, you can go to treatment and try to get some help. And I was so desperate. I literally felt like I was drowning, like that. I've had a near drowning experience when I was a child, and that same sense of like intense dread and like fear, and I'm swallowing all this water and I just cannot breathe and I cannot live. Like, I was so desperate to grasp onto any help that I could get back then. I was just like, I will do whatever you tell me to do right now, because I realize I don't want to die. I don't want to kill myself. And you're offering me this third option, like to get sober. Okay. Like, I will do anything you tell me to do. I was very willing and I was very open-minded. I was not honest in the beginning at all. Like, honesty came in waves. And like, as I worked the steps and met with my sponsor, the honesty got easier. It's still not easy to me today. Like, sometimes it's just like my brain wants to go back into dishonesty over the smallest things. But what came to me today was like trying to be more kind. There's a passage in the book, if y'all have your book, page 83, that I'm going to read, and page 86. So on page 83 and into action, the top paragraph, it says, yes, there's a long period of reconstruction ahead. We must take the lead. A remorseful mumbling that we're sorry won't fit the bill at all. We ought to sit down with the family and frankly analyze the past as now we see it. Be very careful not to criticize them. Their defects may be glaring, but the chances are that their own actions are partly responsible. So we clean house with the family, asking each morning in meditation that our Creator show us the way of patience, tolerance, kindliness, and love. The spiritual life is not a theory. We have to live it. And I don't think that things in this book are italicized because they're not supposed to be important. They're definitely italicized because they are important. And on page 86, the first full paragraph is one that I've read a lot, but sometimes it doesn't stick with me. When we retire at night, we constructively review our day. Were we resentful, selfish, dishonest, or afraid? Do we owe an apology? Have we kept something to ourselves which should be discussed with another person at once? Were we kind and loving toward all? What could we have done better? Were we thinking of ourselves most of the time, or were we thinking of what we could do for others, of what we could pack into the stream of life? But we must be careful not to drift into worry, remorse, or morbid reflection, for that would diminish our usefulness to others. After making our review, we ask God's forgiveness and inquire what corrective measures should be taken. Um, and those are just reminders to me today. So I am a frontline healthcare worker, and this last like 15, 16 months has been very, very, very brutal. And I know it's been tough on everyone. Like, I know that everyone has suffered in some way. It left me very isolated from others, and I wasn't going to a lot of in-person meetings because of safety. I did do some Zoom meetings, and then as things got a little bit better, I started going back to some in-person meetings, but it's just not the same. And that my spiritual life has definitely suffered as well in this period when I should be leaning on my higher power. Sometimes I forget that, and I think I still run the show. All of that ties in with all of those 12 steps, especially that third step. If I get in my own way, if I get in my higher power's way, then my day doesn't go very well, and I get frustrated, and I'm not able to be kind. And some days I just am so tired, and I have to understand that having a kind reaction, not getting defensive, not getting angry, not getting frustrated with others, like, that's not of me. Emily by herself, is bitter and is cranky and is not very nice at all. But like, with my higher powers help, like, I can have that kind of kindness even when I'm tired, even when I'm worn out. Where does that energy come from to be kind to others? And it can't come from me. Like, time and time again, like, especially at work, I'm like not very nice sometimes to people, or I'll just be really blunt and just say, yes, I have to do this, or no, I can't do that, when I could pause and be kinder. And like, that energy has to come from my higher power. Like, I can't make that energy, that kindness, come from me. I learned early on when I was getting sober that, my purpose in this life is to be of maximum service to God and the people about me. And sometimes I really lose focus of that. I don't know. This is just an amazing experience. Wild. My problems are so minuscule these days, generally in my personal life. And to think, like, this time 8 years ago, I was burning everything down around me, and being told that I needed to go to treatment, basically, or else. And that it's just absolutely a miracle. Like, every one of us are walking and talking miracles right now. And I can only attribute that to my higher power, every single day. And when I lose sight of that, and I don't give my higher power the credit, or rely on that strength and that energy, and do what the book tells me to do, then my day is going to be, it's going to suck. But if I'm able to sit back and get that spiritual energy and do what the book tells me to do, and be honest and be kind and be caring and be tolerant and be patient, then my day goes a lot better. Patience is really tough for me, like it just always has been. So I'm still learning. And, the meetings that I love to go to, it's great to act like everything is fine and everything's great, but that's not the AA world that I live in. And I love going to meetings where people are absolutely authentic and genuine. And I see people with 30 years sober talking about their day-to-day struggles and how the steps and how their higher power helps them. So I absolutely believe in that integrity and that honesty in this program. And I will say, when I'm struggling, I will say I'm struggling, and sometimes I'm resistant to ask for my higher power's help, and I'm very stubborn, but my higher power is always there for me. Like, I've never been like I've never been failed in this program. Like I have had situations happen that I did not think that I would survive or did not know how I would get through. And like my higher power has lifted me through each one of those situations. You know, as minor as they may seem to people on the outside, to me, like this stuff is real and this program works if you work those steps and live those traditions and ask others for help. Thank you so much for letting me share.